looking at how to add resources to a member. As you remember, we were working with a business partner whose name was Anne Hall, and she was actually on an Hub active price list. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to quick launch a contract for Anne, and we're going to create a contract for her. What's very important to know is that first of all, you need to check always if there is already a contract for a business partner, in the case there is none. So we're creating a new one. As a contract type, you can have membership, you can have space rental, partnerships, you can define another contract type. This is just for you to actually track what types of contracts you're having. The search key, it can either be a code that you individually define, or it can just be the name of the contract. In my case, I will use the name of Anne for the search key for the name of the contract. Membership. And I would also put her, of course, as the business partner. Once I select her, you see that the partner address, the invoice contract, sales representative, and the price list are automatically filled in. You can also add a description if you would like that. Then the starting date of the contract. For me, it's very important that I always put that the starting date is the beginning of the month, because I would like that there is no pro rata and that my customers are always starting their membership at the beginning of the month. There is no ending date unless stipulated on the contract. So in this case, the contract will be repeating itself until the customer actually announces me 1 month in advance that they want to cancel the contract. We're going into the price list. Another very important thing is that you don't need to have the same price list on the contract as the business partner has. So I can actually this time create a contract on a price list of Hub Accelerate. The contract invoicing schedule is monthly invoicing schedule, but if you would like, you can also have a quarterly invoicing schedule with a duration of 3 months, or a yearly invoicing schedule with a duration of 12 months. The automatic renewal would actually refer to the fact that you take the starting date, which is 1st of November, and you add the duration, and that's how you get to the renewal date. And it's going to be automatically renewed month by month in this date. So that's why I would insist, if it's possible for you to do it either 1st of the month or the 50th of the month, but to try not to have every day a different process, because this is then very hard for the invoicing process. The notice period is actually the period in which they need to let you know in advance before canceling. And this is where we're saving down the information. Now, in every kind of contract, especially the contracts which are with members, we're having the membership. And the membership is something that would repeat itself every month. So I'll put here accelerate, quantity 1. I'm not putting the net unit price because that will be then automatically inherited. When I'm doing this and I'm completing the contract, what's actually happening is that the system creates an invoice plan, and where I can already check that there are already 2 lines created, one for November, one for December, and they will automatically create even more for January, February, and so on. Apart from the membership, it might happen that I also have some resources which are only valid for the first 3 months. So that's what I will do, is that I will add here for the first 3 months, so starting with 1st of October, 1st of November, December, January, until end of January, I will actually allow them to have 1 locker. But after these 3 months, this is no longer valid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the invoice plan. And then here you see that the local rental was automatically added. One more thing that can happen is that this person, once or twice per month, they actually consume coffee. But this is not something that happens regularly. So then instead of adding it in the invoice plan master, which obviously will take it in a repetitive cycle, I will directly go in the invoice plan, add a new line, which is also very possible, in the 1st of November, ending again the 1st of November, and I'm going to put a big coffee break with the same invoicing day of 1st of November, so that it actually appears on the same invoice. One coffee break, and I'm also putting the price. If I actually add resources in the invoice plan, there is no risk that these invoices will then be reappearing in another month, because that is not possible. The ones that are reappearing and repeating are the ones that are put in the invoice plan master. And this is why it's very important to have this separation of which resources should be allocated when. Another very important information is, in case you have actually done something wrong, you can always just reactivate the contract, or you can also renew the contract, and you can select a date in the future, and you can renew that contract as of that date. And when that happens in the invoice plan, you already see that all the resources were actually set so that they include one extra month. It's very important for you every time you do some changes in the invoice plan master that you update the invoice plan. And it's also very important, in case you want to end the contract, the way you do it is that you select an ending date. You put a churn reason, which could be that they're moving away or that they didn't like the services, and then you would click on terminate. Once you terminate, you can click OK or cancel. This time I will terminate it. And now we have terminated the contract. So this is how you manage a contract, and this is how you add different types of resources to this type of contract.